Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn another important function in Microsoft Excel, that is index and match function. Just like XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP, index and match function is also used for looking up values within a table, but just the difference is it's a function that is also available in the older versions, while XLOOKUP is not available in the older versions, and VLOOKUP is used basically only for looking up the values vertically. So we'll start with the given data. Here I have a data containing student ID, name and marks obtained, and I will use this data, and using this data I will elaborate the functions of index match and index plus match, that how you can use these in your data to get the values that you are basically looking up for. So first of all, we have an index function. Index function basically returns a specific value in a given range. How? Let's see. If I click here and I just enter the formula, that is equals to index. Here we have the first argument of array. Array could be, here array is the could be the multiple rows and with multiple columns, and it can be a single row or single column. So here I'm going to select an array. Like if I select this array containing multiple rows and multiple columns, so in such a case the next arguments will be, if you have multiple rows and multiple columns, you must mention the row number and column number in the next arguments to find the value at the intersection of row and column. So I want the value that should be at the intersection of row number 4 and the column number 2nd. So let's see what I will get. 4 and 2nd, Anthony. So the 4th row, as I have selected the top row as well, so it will start from 1 from this row, that is 6th row will be the 1, then 2nd, then 3rd, and then 4th. In the 4th row, the Anthony is in the 4th row and the 2nd column. So this is how you can get the value by manually giving the row number and column number in the index function. Another important thing is, for example, if I am just selecting a column, one column, in such a case, I need to give the row number because I have only one column, so I need not to mention the column number. I just need to mention the row number. So if I want to get the Anthony is basically at the 4th location, so I'll just write 4 and I will just enter. So it has selected Anthony from here 1, 2, 3 and 4. So it depends on you whether you are selecting this row or no. If you are not selecting this row, it's okay. For example, if I start this row from, rather than G6, I will start it from G7 to G14. So now the counting will start from the G7, not from the G6. And if I press enter, the name will be Richard. So it means at the 4th location in this table, the name is Richard. 1, 2, 3, 4. So keep this in mind. Sometimes you get confused that we have selected this data. Sometimes you get confused that we have selected this data, and you just get confused with the index, that which row is at the first, which row is at the second. So it all depends on your selection, that from where you are going to select the data. So next is the match function. Match function basically returns the position of the value, not the value itself. It will tell you where that value is located in the table. Now for that, as you know that in index, we basically give the position manually in terms of rows and column number. But in match function, we find that position. How? Let's see. If I write equal to match, so here the important thing is lookup value. So you have to mention of which value the position you want. It means you must mention that value for finding out its position. So here I want to find the position of John. So I keep this in mind. You have to select that value from some cell. Otherwise, it will become difficult for you to understand. Lookup value should be in some separate cell so that you can understand it better. So I have put the lookup value in this cell, that is John. So I have just selected it. So it just, after selecting, it has just get its address. Then what is the lookup array? So I have to look up this John value in which column? In this column, that is the name column. So I have selected this, and then I need the exact match. So I will select the 0 and then I'll press enter. So it means it has given me the first location, that the John is at the first location in the table. So this is how the match function returns a position of the value in the table. Then we have the function of index plus match. Index plus match basically used for looking up the values in a table. How it can be used? For example, if you will be asked to find the marks of individual or some one student, you can say there is a class of 100 or 200 students and you have a data of 100 200 students. You will be asked to find the data of the marks obtained by one student quickly. How you will do that? So here comes the index and match function. How? So for example, this is the cell in which I need to enter the name of the student, and this is the cell in which I want to retrieve the marks obtained by that student. So by using the index and match function together, I can do that. How? Let's see. So I will just write equal. So firstly, I will select index function. So in index, first of all, I have an array. Which array I need to select? Basically, as I have mentioned above, the index typically returns you a value. So you need to find the marks obtained. So you need to select that column in which there are marks. So I have selected the marks obtained, then I have to write the match function for finding the location of this value John, where it is located. For that purpose, I have to in match the first argument is lookup value. So John is the lookup value, and where we have to see the John, we have to see the John in the name column. So I will select the name column, and then match type should be the exact match. So I will select 0. So I will I have to close it by two parentheses and then enter. So the marks obtained by John is 49. Let's see. Yes, the marks obtained by John is 49. Now let's change the name here and see whether it works or not. If I enter the name Greg and I press enter, so it's changed its value. So Greg has secured 45 marks. So it has also changed the marks here. So this is how. Similarly, if I enter the name Nick here and I press enter, it has changed. Nick has secured 28 marks. So it's now automatic. There's nothing manual in it. You just need to enter one formula and you can retrieve the values whatever you want. You can, here I am retrieving the marks obtained. You can also get the student's ID. You can also get the name of the students against the student ID. It all depends on you. What do you want? So keep this in mind that in this function, the important thing is in index, you need a specific value. So here the array should be from the values that you want to retrieve. I want the marks obtained, so I have selected this marks obtained array. Then in match, you have to select the array in which the match value is there. So the match value was the name, so I have selected the array of the name. So these are two important things that you need to keep in your mind while using index and match function in Excel. So this is how you can use index and match function in Excel. So that's all from today's lecture. Thank you.